Defense, what have you seen on tape from their D so far?
They're really good. They remind me kind of played against a couple really good Iowa defenses. Kind of just very, incredible tacklers. They do not miss tackles. They don't line up wrong. They don't do anything that gives you an unearned inch. Played against a lot of really good teams. They basically shut out West Virginia. Really did a great job against Oklahoma. Scored a couple times. They scored once on defense and set up another one, tied in the red zone there. But really, just a really good, solid football team. One thing that I always look for is just how teams adjust to motion and shifting and stuff, and they look like they're controlled by remote. It's like four guys move simultaneously exactly to the right spot, and so that's just it. That's a sign of a really well-coached team and a very disciplined team.
Have they played, no one plays exactly like you guys, but have they played anybody this year that's similar to your style?
Yeah, I think there are a bunch of teams that have done similar things within their conference. Several guys that they've played, and they haven't had a ton of success. So that's something that obviously we've got to work cut out for us. In a game like this, you're going to play somebody pretty good.
Their DBs, there's three guys in their DB that have 5 picks each.
Yeah.
Have you noticed whether those have been created by tips or is it the way they're covering?
It's been both. They do a really good job of kind of baiting. They had a couple picks against West Virginia and against OU that were kind of baiting the quarterback, and one corner route that ends up throwing it right to the guy, but it kind of looks like, oh my gosh, it was a horrible throw, but it was a pretty good job by the DB too. Then they've had several just 4-man rush pressure situations where guys trying to get the ball out and doesn't throw it accurately, and so it's kind of a all-around pick.
Their DNs also, each one of them I think 7.5, 9.5
Yeah.
sacks. What's the MO as far as how they're getting to the QE?
Speed, really good speed rushers. They do a really good job of kind of mixing up their rush of just straight, speed rush, and then a bunch of line games with their inside guys as well. They adjust really well to the run game that way too, just kind of changing up their stunts a little bit. But their MO on the edge is speed, and then they have a couple different packages where they have linebackers in there, or a sub package with some different guys in there to try to just put pressure on the tackles.
Surprised at all that Kenyon didn't win the dog walk?
Not surprised, unfortunately, but I think Monty Ball has obviously had an unbelievable career. I think Kenyon's had a pretty good year, and if that's what it's based on, you never know exactly how those are voting. And probably between Jonathan Franklin, who was outstanding, they probably split a little bit of the west of the Mississippi vote. But all three unbelievable players. Obviously Kenyon, shoulda, woulda, coulda, but yeah.
How much were you on the recruiting trail the last couple of weeks with the time off?
Been out, yeah. Everybody's been out. Yeah, there's 7 of us that can be out
So how much,
at once.
When you're visiting recruits, how much does all the uncertainty and the rumors of Chip potentially the NFL, how much does that come up, and how do you address that? Especially with your name being out there, it's potential.
It comes up a lot, but that's going to come up anywhere anybody's successful. They've talked about this coach to this NFL team, or this coach to this college team, or if we're 6-6 and there's probably not much chatter about anything, and guys go to Oregon for different reasons. Guys go to different places for different reasons. Obviously, we think we have a pretty good thing going, and I think our staff does a great job of muting all that stuff.
Is that kind of an uncomfortable thing to have to answer, not knowing?
No, it's not uncomfortable. It's something you just talk about. That's just if I was in their shoes, I'd ask the same question. If I'm that kid's dad, I'd want that same thing addressed, and that's fine and fair, and we'll address it.